Hey you guys, it's JustLatasha and this is Piece of Script. On this lovely winter snowy day of NYC, of course I want to discuss one of the sickest horror movies that came out in the last 2 years. Today's video is going to be about MidSommar, but before we jump into that, please go ahead and start this video off by subscribing, hitting the notification bell so you're aware of when I make new videos, giving this video a thumbs up, and of course subscribing to the channel. As you guys can see, my social media is in the left corner below. Go ahead and follow and become a Patreon today for exclusive live dissections that are not going to be here for all of you, just for some of you. Okay, become a Patreon today. So let's get into it. Let's discuss MidSommar. It's the 2019 horror film directed by none other than Ari Asters. You guys may have known him from the film Hereditary, my all-time favorite movie. And of course, a very creepy and weird and a little gross, Meet the Johnsons. In MidSommar, it shares the story of a couple that travels to Europe to meet a horrific cult that assists them on an extreme and elaborate breakup. But for today's series, I do want to stay isolated in one scene because, number one, I do want to spend some time with the only black character in the movie, who was absolutely right, by the way. In this scene, Christian approaches his friend Josh to inform him that he too will be doing a thesis on this very strange community. Just a little backstory, Josh has been working on and planning this thesis for an exuberant amount of time, and Christian is just one of those lazy, lackluster, mediocre white boys who just kind of floats through life. So what you want in a scene, which of course is the ask, between two or more characters, but to add some dimension, you also want to add just a little bit of battle for power. And with all the visuals paired behind this conversation, it just elevates all of that tension. Okay, let's dive in. When Christian enters the scene, he feels really small internally because he knows he's about to do something really shitty. He's going to steal and hop on his friend's original idea for this thesis about this particular community. So let's take a look at the power structure. Upon entry, Christian feels really small, but to do this ask of his friend, he needs to switch it to make himself appear larger than he is. And when he walks in, what he says is, hey, I've got something to ask. Well, actually, I've got something to tell you. What you can also see here is that Christian is in the dark while his friend is in the light, aka your good old right versus wrong. Then he crosses the room. His back is facing us because he's hiding the truth behind his intentions, aka I'm gonna come in here and pretend I'm not really hopping on your bandwagon, stealing all of your work. I'm pretending I'm an intellectual too. Yeah, take a walk. Also, another bit of backstory, one of the teens from the cult is putting a spell on Christian because she plans on having him father her child. It's drawn on the wall right behind him. You'll see it. You can see it. Yeah. So Josh, like a real one, bucks up. Because how bold of Christian to walk up on him and tell him he's going to steal his thesis. Christian's motive to obtain power in this conversation doesn't work. Let's take a look at the light. See how it peers down from Josh onto Christian? Even though Christian's larger, Josh still manages to make Christian feel just as small as he knows he is. So now we level out the playing field. Josh versus Christian, it's a full-on battle. The visuals right behind him still showing the contrast between Christian and Josh. Josh is this dark, plain, bland, void of a man battling the bright, complex, intellectual mind of Josh. There's also a moment in this scene where Josh is paired with the drawing that shows a divide in the community. And that's simply what happens here between these two friends. After this moment, after this conversation, after the audacity of a mediocre, confident white boy, these two friends ain't gonna be the same. The scene ends. Christian is going to move forward with stealing his friend's concept of a thesis. And if you continue to watch the horror movie, drama and more problems ensue. But ladies and gentlemen, and my fabies in between, that is how you make a dynamic scene with a dimensional power structure. I am JustLatasha, and this was Piece of Script. I'm so happy to have had you all here to join me. Please do not leave without subscribing to the channel and giving this particular video a thumbs up. Become a patron today for extra exclusive live content, patreon.com/JustLatasha. And of course, follow me on my social media, JustLatasha on Instagram, JustLatasha404 on Twitter. And until next time, I'll see y'all on the internet. Oh, and this Thursday I'm dissecting The Wiz. Don't miss it. All right, bye.